Jai Maha Maya ki Jai. In our last discourse, we learned more about the different parts of the incarnation of the several devas that took their place on earth. And here we are on chapter 23. Vedavyasa said, the 6 sons of Devaki being thus killed by Kamsa and the 7th womb being miscarried, Kamsa began, when Devaki was pregnant with the 8th time, to think of the cause of his own death, as advised by Narada, and watched carefully day and night, so that this time there would be born a son and there be no miscarriage. On the other hand, the Bhagavan Vishnu came down and rested on the body of Vasudeva as part incarnate, and then entered into the womb of Devaki in due order. That very time, the goddess Yoga Maya, of her own accord, entered into the womb of Yashoda in order to help the workings of the gods. Rohini, the wife of Vasudeva, was anxiously dwelling at that time through the fear of Kamsa in the Nanda Gokula. Balarama, the part incarnate of Ananta, took his birth there as her son. Kamsa then imprisoned Devaki, who was being worshipped by the gods, and engaged servants to take care of her. Vasudeva too entered into the prison with his wife Devaki, thinking of his issue, and also being attracted by his attachment towards his wife. Vishnu here, the Deva of the Devas, so accomplished the purpose of the gods, began to grow regularly in the womb of Devaki, being incessantly adored and praised by all the gods. When the 10th month was complete, on the 8th day of the dark fortnight under the star Rohini, Kamsa became very bewildered with fear and called on his demon followers and said, "You must all carefully protect Devaki in the prison. The son born from this 8th womb of Devaki will turn out my dire enemy. Therefore do you all very carefully protect that child, guard him, my death incarnate, so that child may not be transferred anywhere else. O demons, I will be able to sleep without any anxiety then, when I will be successful. Kill this 8th son of Devaki, who has become the source of my constant worries and endless troubles. Equipped with swords, shafts, and boards, and bows, and darts, do you incessantly watch with eyes open on all sides, leaving off your sleep and drowsiness." Thus ordering the demons, the king Kamsa, who had become worn out with this anxiety and was bewildered with fear, went quickly to his own palace room, but he could not find any trace of happiness. On the other hand, Devaki, at dead of night in the prison, told Vasudeva, "O king, my birth pain has come. I see here many guards who are watching us. What shall I do now? Yashoda, the wife of Nanda, promised me before this, O respected one, your heart is almost burnt up with the first fire of grief. Therefore, do you send to my house your son. I will protect it with utmost care, and especially to incur Kamsa's faith and belief, I will give you another son, O Lord. This is now a very hard moment. What are we to do? And again, how are you to exchange the 2 sons? However, let what come may come to pass. Now, the moment of birth has come. Please turn away your face, and if there is any remedy, here." Thus saying to his blessed Vasudeva, worshipped by the gods, Devaki at the dead of night delivered a wonderful child. The blessed Devaki, looking on that exceedingly beautiful child, was struck with wonder and told her husband, her whole body being filled with joy, "O Lord, look at the face of your new son, child. A very rare thing to see such a face as this. Alas, the son of my paternal uncle Kamsa will kill this new form of child." Kamsa will do so. Saying this, Vasudeva took up the child in his arms and began to look amorously at the face of that child of wonderful deeds. Thus looking, Vasudeva thought, "What can I do now so to relieve me from my sorrows, owing to the future destruction of this beautiful child?" While Vasudeva was anxiously pondering over, the heavenly voice clearly said thus, O Vasudeva, quickly go to Gokula with this child. The keepers and guards I have made dead asleep by my Maya. The 8 very strong doors are now lying wide open. You better free yourself from your chains and take this child, keep it in the house of Nanda, and bring Yogamaya from there and come back here. Thus, hearing the heavenly voice, he cast his glance at the doors and found them wide open. Very quickly then he took the child and stepped out of the prison, quite unnoticed by the guards and watchmen, going to the banks of the Yamuna. There he found it flowing with great force and became anxious again. But the river Yamuna instantly turned out to be easily fordable, just knee-deep. Then Vasudeva, guided by Yogamaya, crossed the Yamuna and betaking to an unfrequented road, arrived at Gokula at the dead of night. There at the doorway of the house of Nanda, he began to see the cows, buffaloes, and all the wealth and property of Nanda. At that very moment there was born of Yashoda, Mahadevi, the part of the divine Yogamaya, the incarnate of the 3 qualities. Then the Mahadevi Yogamaya, assuming the appearance of a female, taking that divine female child in her arms, came there and Yashoda handed her to Vasudeva. Vasudeva too delivered his child over to the lotus-like hands of Yashoda, and taking the female child instead, quickly returned with his heart full of joy. He went into the prison and kept that female child in the bed of Devaki and remained aside, fearful and anxious. But the child, the moment she was lulled to sleep, began to cry in a sonorous voice. The royal guards at once woke up to that cry, and being bewildered with fear, hurriedly went to their king and said, O king, come quickly, Devaki has brought forth a child. The king, hearing their words, went there quickly and saw the doors open, called on Vasudeva. O Vasudeva, let me have the 8th child of Devaki, my death incarnate. I will at once kill that enemy of mine, born as part of Vishnu. Hearing Krishna's words, Vasudeva handed over to him the female child, crying and very much bewildered with fear. At the sight of a female child, the king was very much astonished and began to think that the heavenly voice and the seer Narada's words turned out false. How can Vasudeva be able to bring about in this dreadful place the unnatural act of turning a male into a female? Especially my guards are carefully watching this place. There is no doubt in this. How has this female child come here? Where has the 8th born child gone? I ought not to doubt in this matter, for the ways of time are mysterious. Thinking thus, the cruel King Kamsa caught hold of the female child by her legs and, raising her up high in the air, was going to strike her against a stone when the female child slipped out of his hands and, flying into the air, assumed a divine appearance and gently spoke to Kamsa thus, What will you get by killing me? Your powerful enemy is already born on this earth, O vilest of men, disgrace of your family. He, the excellent human being, who is very difficult to be worshipped, will certainly kill you. Saying thus, the auspicious female child, able to go anywhere according to her will, disappeared. Kamsa, astonished, returned to his own home and, becoming impatient with fear and anger, called the demons and addressed them thus. O demons, go all of you to serve my purpose. Kill anywhere the child whom you see just born. Let Putana, expert in killing children, go today to Nanda's Gokula. But my order is this: any child recently born there must be killed. The rest of you all should remain in Gokula to carry out my orders. The cruel King Kamsa, thus ordering the demons, went away to his own palace, and thinking on this matter over and over again, became very much afflicted with fear, and his mind got immensely depressed. Thus ends the 23rd chapter in the 4th book of the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of the Mahapurana of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Veda Vyasa on the birth of Sri Krishna. Jai Maha Maya ki jai, Bole Baba ki jai.